Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and the such I usually go about on Twitter. Sorry. Um, Later today, I didn't do anything on Saturday. I was out all day. I think it was a messy weekend. But today I will be doing another episode of jusant. In the meantime, I think it was yesterday I did manage to record a demo gameplay, which I will be publishing later this week on Friday for sure. And just a quick reminder that I already have completed the gameplay series here if you want to check out. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it regarding channel updates. Today is Monday, very quiet day usually, but still we got news from AMD that officially supposedly launched the 9700 GRE in China, and as we suspect, at least for the moment, this GPU is officially or exclusive to Chinese markets. Supposedly, in terms of performance, is around 6% faster than the 7900 GRE. Again, given the specs themselves, we kind of knew that it was going to be in the middle ground, or at least between in terms of performance, the 9070 XT and the upcoming 9060 XT. Again, only 12 gigabytes of GDDR6, 192 memory bus. The memory speeds are not that high. Again, I think they took the bad yields for the Navi 48 chips, and they just put it here and basically built a GPU for the Chinese market for the moment. Again, if the yields are not that good for the Navi 48, I will assume we will have eventually more 97 GREs. Again, supposedly this is to replace the 9070 non-XT variant. It seems to, again, doesn't seem to have a lot of stock here, and they found basically a middle ground here. Again, it performs less than the non-XT variant of the 9070, but I will assume it will perform a little bit better, at least from the 9060 XT. Again, this is what I got in terms of official information. Supposedly, it launches in China at, again, the price point. Again, it's only available in China, so it's not a huge deal here. Um, it's 4,400 RMBs. Again, I don't know how that will translate to US dollars, but again, I will assume it's between the 9070 XT and the 9060 XT, and hopefully a little bit lower than the again, given that there is no 9070 non XT variant. But I think it's a little bit cheaper there. Yeah, it's what I got here, at least for the moment being. Again, I don't expect, given that we will have Computex shortly, I think a couple of weeks or so, if not mistaken. Again, I completely forgot the dates, but I know it's next month. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if we have any kind of surprise, which I don't think we will have here. I think it's going to be the lower end of the RDNA 4 announcements there, probably with some official benchmarks from them, and probably at the pricing, and see if they will cancel or not the 8 gigabyte variants. There seems to be some rumors indicating that they will not launch the 8 gigabyte variants again. We already had the example even from previous generations, the 4060 Ti, the 16 and the 8 gigabyte variants. Again, the 8 gigabyte is a non GPU, let's say, for especially for the price point, and the same thing is can be said with the 5060 Ti 8 gigabyte variant. Um, Between the two, again, it's the 16 gigabyte. Again, even at 1080p, the 8 gigabyte variants tend to struggle if they can even run the games at 1080p there. But yeah, this is what I got here. In terms of games, we got Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. Interesting enough, they are selling pretty well. Again, the reviews are stellar from everybody that has been playing and reviewing this game. I already managed to also buy the game. Just a matter of time, try to see when I can start playing this game. if not doing a gaming series, at least playing in my free time, which is going to be a little bit tricky lately. But yeah, 1 million copies sold, not player engagement, like any kind of shenanigans from Ubisoft numbers. Interestingly enough, as an add-on, the studio itself only had 33 persons working on this project. Some of them, or I think a majority of them, were ex Ubisoft developers. And funny enough, the fact that how they demonstrate the numbers, there is on the Twitter, they did a tweet or a post on X or whatever you want to call it, with a note added this, which is the million copies sold doesn't reflect anything regarding Game Pass numbers or anything like that. Which, funny enough, given that how Ubisoft, especially with Assassin's Creed Shadows, did manage to try to market as 4 or 3 million players engaged, as kind of implying that they sold this many amount of copies, which is not true. But yeah, interesting enough, this is not counting with again Game Pass numbers. Again, usually doesn't. I don't think how they do the math on that thing for the developers. But yeah, it's good to see that good games are financially compensated with this. Again, even on the first day, they sold 500,000 copies, which is very, very, very good to see. I'm very hopeful when I start playing the game. I did manage to start tweaking around with settings for a possible gameplay series on this game. I just skip all the intros and everything just to try and get around, see what the best settings I can get out of my PC there. I think I got everything locked down there. Again, it's just a matter of time of starting recording or at least playing the game. But yeah, I don't, I cannot promise anything there. It's one of those games that since I saw, I was very curious about. I always like kind of turn-based battle system games, and the fact that they had the quick, kind of the quick time thing there added on, and there is a lot of stuff that you can do this on the game. The story seemed to be very good. There is kind of minimal exploration. Um, well, the gist of it is basically what Final Fantasy should be at this day and time. That's the perception that I got. But yeah, it's one of those that I really need to delve into and lost myself on these kind of games. But yeah, congratulations to Sandfall Interactive for doing an excellent game there. There is also here this one, Tainted Grail. I think I covered this game. The name of the game, it's not that foreign to me. Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. Again, seems interesting. It's kind of, in terms of the trailer here, seems very like kind of a Skyrim-ish kind of a game there. From what I understand, they're going to release the full version by the end of this month. It's been on early access. Again, seems interesting. Again, it's one of those that I like to point out here and there. Maybe you can keep it on your wish list and check it out for yourself. Maybe it's something that it might worth your time there. Again, they have the stats here, or at least what the full version of the game is going to bring. But yeah, it seems interesting what they're trying to do. But yeah, seems like a more on the Arthurian legend kind of a thing again. Fall of Avalon. Avalon was I think one of the things of King Arthur legend stuff there. Again, I don't know everything regarding Arthurian legend, but I always like this kind of setting there. Then we got Oblivion. Again, I watched Digital Foundry kind of performance review of the game itself. Again, these Unreal Engine games that have been coming out, it's been a mess. I think even to a certain extent, Clair Obscur, given that it's an Unreal Engine 5 game, has some issues here and there. Not so much, seems to be pretty, in terms of performance, very well optimized, but still there is some issues here and there. But Oblivion is marred with a lot of micro stuttering all around, especially in open worlds areas. On closed areas seems to be less frequent, but it's something that it's been problematic. I don't know how many years now. Even with Unreal Engine 4, again, given that Unreal Engine 4 is quite on the old side of things to a certain degree, new hardware can basically mask those issues. But yeah, this game at this moment in time, as it is, even though it seems to be a pretty good game in terms of the gameplay systems, it's got still the same routines from the original game there. It's just they mask it off the, or at least the coat of paint is with Unreal Engine 5 graphics and those little things there. But it seems that at this moment in time, the only way of trying to remove the micro stuttering has to do with turning off how it is accelerated, so disable hardware accelerated lumen ray trace global illumination. Again, even with software lumen, the issues persist, and this is even worse with older CPUs. Again, this is more about the CPU side of things. Again, they need to patch this up. I don't know what, how especially the engineering team on Unreal Engine can do to, again, to make it less painful for the CPUs, because even with the 9800 X3D and even trying tweak around with settings to be more GPU bound, again, the frame rates is all over the place with a lot of stuttering. Again, it's something that it needs to be addressed as soon as possible, and it seems that the only way to try to minimize this is disable lumen ray trace global illumination, which then it puts the game in a completely state of not looking good at in any place there. But yeah, it's a shame because it seems this is one of those games that, again, I missed the boat on the original one when when it launched. I don't remember why I missed this boat here, but I did miss the boat on Oblivion when it came out. But yeah, it seems to maintain the feeling of when people played the game when it came out. It got kind of the same kind of bugs to a certain degree, bugs in a sense, some glitches here and there, and the oddness of the original one, which is something that people seem to be appreciative of to a certain extent. But yeah, the fact that the performance side of things is not that good, unless you really heavy tweak around with some certain settings to try to minimize this. Again, it might be a little bit off-putting the experience that you will have with this game. And to a certain extent, I also watched legendary drop, sorry, video regarding the Oblivion, and what it's again, assuming that he is right on that matter. Again, it's speculation from him, and he also admits that the kind of strategy that Xbox might be trying to do around with kind of a disruption in the market and be more competitive and be more price aggressive on this, given that the full price of this remaster remake is around, I think, $50, if not mistaken, the base edition. And it also includes the original DLC, from what I understand. But it goes about in a way of explaining his own point of view regarding that. Again, he was one of those that played the game when it came out. Again, there is some reminiscence of memories regarding playing that game that he fully admits there. But yeah, he always has at least some balance views. And what I respect more from him is the fact that he can articulate at least a huge swath of gamers because he uses a lot of common sense to try to explain and go about giving his opinions, which I think is also a huge plus on the gamer community, and to a certain extent, the trying to as serves as a pinpoint on the consumer, how it stands the consumer regarding the relationship that we have with the publishers and development teams that launch games there. I think he has usually uses basically common sense to go about and argue his points. But yeah, I will leave it there also in the description, the link of the video. I think you should give a follow. I've been watching him for at least for a year or so. Basically, when it started doing these videos that he does, the more scripted side of things, and I really do recommend you give a listen on his opinions, because he really has his ear on the ground on the majority of the community of gamers, the what we call the silent majority there. But yeah, let's wrap up with some gaming deals. We got a lot of stuff here. We got Alien Isolation. It's 80% off. Again, I do recommend this game. I did a gaming series on this one. It's the older ones, the 1080p ones. I will eventually replay this game. It still looks pretty good, even at 4K. I think it's one of those that I think might be holding up even after all these years. But yeah, I do recommend this game, especially at this price point here. We got jusant. It's still on a sale around a day or so, 55% off. I do recommend this game. Already recorded the gameplay series on this one. I'm publishing here and there throughout the week. But yeah, I do recommend. It's a good experience. I did enjoy, and if you're curious about this game, just to check the first episode to have an idea what this game is about. And for sure, you will be convinced that this might be a good game for you. We got Liza P, 40% off in the base edition and the deluxe edition also. We got Lords of the Fallen. Again, version 2.0 was launched. I still need to. I only played a little bit here and there to try to check the settings. I didn't watch the story or anything like that. I just in a tutorial area to try and see how it runs there. But yeah, 67% off in both editions, and seems to be a very excellent game at this point in time. We got also Ori, the Ori games. So Ori and the Blind Forest, this is definitive edition, 80% off. And then the sequel, Will of the Wisps, 67% off. We got Nino Kuni. This is the first game remastered version here, 85% off. We got Pacific Drive. The deluxe edition is now off 40%. We got Resident Evil franchise is on sale, all the games. I will leave the list of all the games that are on sale on Steam, so you can pick and choose to complete the collection. We got The Invincible. Again, this is one of those that I'm very interested in playing around with one of these days, and it's 40% off. We got The Long Dark, again, one of those little games that was in early access a long time ago and then fully released, and again, very positive feedback from everybody. And it's around 90% off The Long Dark, and then they got the survival mode 50% off. Again, very cheap, and it seems to be a pretty good game. Then we got the Tomb Raider trilogy. So again, they didn't launch the trilogy thingy here. So I will go through each of the free games here. So we got the Tomb Raider, which is 85% off. It is the oh my god, the GOTY edition, if not mistaken. Then Rise of Tomb Raider, the same thing, 85% off. And then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This is the definitive edition, which has every packet here, 80% off. Again, very cheap, and a very strong trilogy here from Tomb Raider. But yeah, I'll wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon as usual. The support is going to be more to see if I can manage to get a better storage solution, so I can backup backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.